toys, 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 manly toys, 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 toys,
and TV and movies too. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. This is the Toy Duo team, and we're going to be talking about JoeFest, Star Wars Acolyte, and all the movie and TV news that you didn't know you needed, along with whatever else pops up in the chat or on the show. We're going to go over the action figure reveals. This is episode 70. Are you kidding me? That's older than me.
Is it really?
Yeah, episode 70. Anyways, today we got Dan from Andy 1981. We got Rick from Left Coast Graphics, or Heroes and Villains Toys. And we got Connor from Fuller's Figures joining us. He's hanging out all the way from Ireland.
Dublin, Ireland.
That's halfway around the world.
It's nighttime here.
You know what's interesting to me is like every time like I realize where you're from, I think of the Sons of Anarchy. Don't ask me why, but I always
for my sins I did watch that show, and
yeah.
I remember being really irritated because every situation that they found themselves in was of their own making, and I was like, you know, just don't do anything for a week. You guys will have a nice, peaceful life. But all the shots where they were supposedly in Northern Ireland were clearly California with the dry brush and
all
the accents were good.
Even the Northern California, none of that was filmed in Northern California. It's just outside of LA off the 14 near like Palmdale and Lancaster. If you drive out there, you can see all the same stretch of road that they basically use that same, the thing that they did in Spartacus where they had all the Roman soldiers like walking. They like had one hill and they had them walk down the hill and then they reversed the cameras and then they had them walk up the hill and it looked like a really long walk. So they used to use this one stretch of the road off the 14 and they would just film it from different angles.
But that's better than CGI though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Anyways, let's say hi to some people in the chat. We got Lack. He has joined us. He was first. We got Silver Scratch Productions, Mr. B, Left Coast Graphics is pulling double duty in the chat as well. Dandy 1981 is in the chat. I was in there for a minute just saying, let's go. Connor from Fuller's Figures is in there. Let's see, am I missing anything? Jonathan Redmond has joined us.
Northern
Nomad. Yeah, nice. TJC. Have we seen TJC in here before? If not, welcome to the show.
Hey, Terry. Hey, Jay. If Jace is watching, Jace is my little buddy from the UK. So how you doing, Jace?
Oh, okay, cool.
Good to see you.
On the TV. And Jumpy McClunky.
Yeah.
How you doing?
All right, and then okay. So, how's everybody been going this week?
Good.
Going.
Yeah. Anything happening? I mean, it seems like a slow week, right? Nothing going on.
Well, it's like every event that could possibly happen in Vancouver is starting to happen. Like this weekend, next weekend, it's all the summer events.
All right.
Time.
It is hot. First day of summer was what, yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. All right, this was the thumbnail. Let's tab through that for a second. And we're going to be, okay, let's just start off right this. Welcome to Bragging Camp. This is your opportunity to show off something that you picked up in your collection this week that you want to brag about. Who wants to go first?
Oh, I have something.
Okay.
All right.
I was going to do a short on this. I just haven't had the time yet, but I got this package all the way from Scotland. Out of the blue. Wasn't expecting it. And Gary Moore had seen my Luke Skywalker video I did for the Made the Power of the Force.
Okay. That was a good one, actually. I liked it.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, I've a lightsaber for your figure, Connor. But not only did he send me a lightsaber, he actually said, I won't fit in the hand now, typically, because I'm trying to show it off. Power of the Force, Luke from Endor. So I'm actually.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a beautiful thing. I wasn't expecting it. He did that off his own back.
The knees bend, right, on that one?
So, it's articulated with the knees.
Yeah, that one's built for the speeder bike.
that it's just a wonderful surprise. So I did get something this week, and it was unexpected, and it's really cool. So that's my brag.
Hey, that's really cool. All right. Who else? All right, let me just show what I got then. So I was gonna pick up any GI Joes. I was gonna hold off and see if I could just wait for clearance, but I walked into Target, and of course, this purple dude was on the shelf, so I had to get him. It's like once you see him hanging there, like, oh yeah, that guy's pretty cool. So
that's not on clearance already, is it?
I no, I paid regular price, but then of course I wanted to get Airborne. And if you know what I did with my previously was I bought some Airborne figure bodies off the internet, and that's what I used to turn into my Airwolf figures. So that's Airborne just painted.
Oh, nice work.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what I did was I found a guy who was on the internet just selling the figure bodies. I bought the bodies and then painted them up. That's how I did that. All right, Dan, you got something?
I do actually. I have this little
Hulk hand,
and it goes with this.
Oh,
is it float or something?
Did you hear it?
No.
Hold it to the mic.
Ooh.
Let me listen to my microphone.
Is it too quiet?
I hear like a, and then is he saying like Hulk
He's
smash?
saying Hulk smash.
Yeah.
Hulk smash.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Another one of my little
like
desktop things. And then also, I know you guys have all seen this before, but I just got it for Father's Day.
Oh. Can you wear that?
Vern's going to need to wear that.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
That's awesome.
Vern, you might need that for like a, to help your arm
Maybe.
heal.
Maybe, right? Like, all right,
and you guys will appreciate the card that I got too, actually.
Okay.
You ever seen this one?
Oh, that's nice.
Father's Day card. Nice.
Wait for it though.
Woo!
Boom. There, I love that stuff.
Oh, I love it.
Nice.
Wait a minute. They can put LED lights on a greeting card, but they can't put it on a $400 HasLab.
Nope. That's what I mean. Like it's done for
no comment.
Dollars.
All right.
Yeah, but he didn't tell you that birthday card cost $49.
Oh, it's $499 because it's a deluxe.
No, it was a tier unlock actually for Father's Day. It was I hit my 18th Father's Day, and
this is totally being prepared for
I
the
didn't
very
pick up
first segment.
anything, but as
you pay for college, Dan, you get a card.
as I'm making some new Hulk videos, some shorts.
Yes, you have.
Hulk
You've been killing it.
You guys remember when Marvel Legends made all these 3.75-inch super articulated figures? So I have all of the Hulks and things and rhinos and 3 3/4 scale. And I've always thought these were really cool figures, and
weird.
Exactly. I wish they'd keep going because they're going that deep now with Marvel Legends with all these characters we never thought would see the night of day. But I don't know. It was a good price point. I think at the point where I was buying those,
were
$9.99,
$14 in Canada. Very reasonable.
That Hulk that you have, because of his positioning, he's like kind of like this, and then he's got his arm kind of like that. I call him the aw shucks Hulk, like aw shucks. Oh no, there's a different one that's kind of like turned a little bit, like shucks.
But I'm having fun taking pictures with him. Like so, today's video I dropped was Hulk versus Andre the Giant.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Black was disappointed that Andre lost, but
well, that's just the way it is. If it was the $6 million man.
Hulk.
If it was the $6 million man, it'd be a different story.
If I had a $6 million man, and I'm taking requests, and Lack gave my first request, he's like, "Oh, how about Hulk versus like a T-Rex?" I'm like, "Oh, that's badass," but I don't own any dino toys, so
you
might have to borrow a dino toy from my buddy just to make that video.
Well, what's interesting is that you have done a video where you went into like a secondhand store and bought some stuff, and in there were dinosaur stuff, weren't there?
Oh, absolutely. I see them all the time. It's just
so. I mean,
not part of my collecting habits.
But I mean, you're taking requests, and somebody asked for.
It may have to be a $40 request. But no,
All right.
I know my buddy's got all kinds of T-Rexes because he finds them at the flea markets and garage sales. He's actually having a garage sale today, so he's probably going to sell all his T-Rexes and they'll miss out.
Oh, you got to go get
Get
them.
over there, boy, T-Rex.
All right, let's see. Bender Rodriguez jumped in. Duffman's dioramas. Since we last looked, I'm trying to see anybody else. I know there's people in there. Not every. There might be a whole bunch of people from JoeFest watching us. I doubt it, but there might be.
Oh, live on the Jumbotron there. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Oh, let me unmute you. Did I mute you? No, you muted yourself, Dan.
Who, me?
Yeah. No, Dan. All right. Okay, so this week in Star Wars news, it was the Star Wars Acolyte. And as you know, Rick over at Left Coast Graphics does an after show to talk about every detail of Star Wars. This week, he decided not to. He pointed it out specifically because I've been giving him a hard time about screenshotting every single frame of every episode. And he decided not to do it and somehow still went for like an hour and 10 minutes on an episode that without the little credits and the previews ended up being 24 and a half minutes long. They spoke for an hour, 10 minutes. The funniest part about your after show, by the way, Rick, is this thing like, I know you folks in the chat have stuff you want to say, but we're going to talk and then we'll get to you later.
Or they can all come on screen and say their words, use their words.
Way to put the fans first, like Hasbro.
Well,
So-
we don't need a 3-hour live stream. Like it
We
will
won't
go
charge us.
3-4 hours if we all make a point, and then we get the 300 people in the chat's point on the screen at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's tough, man. I'm learning.
Yes. All right. So anyways, with that being said, Star Wars Acolyte Episode 4 aired this week. Did everybody watch the episode? And is everybody prepared to jump in and tell us what they think about Episode 4?
Nope.
And
Well, I didn't watch
silence
it.
on the panel.
I've decided that the Acolyte is not for me. It's not written
Okay.
for me. It's not aimed at me. It's not directed at me. So there's no point in me watching it. I watched the first two. Didn't really get much out of it. Rather than going on social media and getting all inflamed and raged, I just said this is not for me. So I'm just going to step aside, let it happen, and continue on with my life. That's how I'm doing Acolyte.
That sounds good, Connor. And without you, the rest of us will be enraged. And we're going to drum up a whole bunch of drama right now.
I thought it was a decent episode. Obviously, I think everyone agrees it was much better than the
last
slower,
episode?
the slower episode 3.
Oh,
But I think I've said this before. This particular series, I think, would have benefited if they dropped the 8 episodes, so there wouldn't be this stupid drama that goes on in whatever communities.
Here's
because
what
a lot of
I
people have theories, right, and have ideas of what they think is going to happen. But the people that are doing the moaning and complaining the most are the ones that aren't coming up with theories. They
Complaining
know
about what
they
had
know what the ending is. They know, oh, they made all these things broken. George Lucas is crying at home. They broke canon, this and that. But yet they don't realize there's still many hours to go where I guarantee you all those things that they're bitching and moaning and complaining about will all be
Jeez,
answered.
language, dude.
They'll literally answer every one of your questions. And
No,
none of those people
hold on,
are going to go on YouTube and apologize.
They are not going to answer every one of your questions. It's not going to happen. It's not happened in any other show that they've ever done. They've always
That's
left
true. That's
questions
true.
No, but this is a mystery. It's a murder mystery. You have to
Okay,
answer the
hold on.
questions.
So
or
here's
it's
what
not
I
a murder
think. Rick.
mystery.
Hold on. I want to kind of segue into something you were talking about on your show, and kind of segue into what you said here, because you had said that on your after show that you thought that this would have definitely benefited from all 8 episodes dropping at once or whatever. But you also said something about that you enjoyed watching like these weekly shows.
Absolutely.
But what you said about watching the weekly shows is when you could watch the episode and it was a self-contained episode that started and ended and then just kind of had an overarching story arc. And that's what they're not Yeah, and that's what they're not doing here, right?
Well,
Like they're
because this
not.
show is so much different, I think, than any
Yeah,
of those shows.
so I think
Even the
that
Marvel shows weren't this kind
they
of
weren't. They're built to
broken
be.
apart. And
They're built as 2-hour movies to be broken down into episodes, and I think that if they rethought that weekly streaming for a show like this and built it like a traditional show where you have an overarching story, but every episode was kind of self-contained that you could watch on your own, I think that would be way better for dropping weekly than not. And when they build a show like this, where like the end of one show just is halfway through the rest of the story on that planet or whatever, they should have just dropped like those story arcs together, maybe broken them up differently. So
no,
that,
I agree.
like,
And I think would we call that editing, the editing process? Because maybe the
there's
story was written and someone decided to like, well, let's chop it up this way.
So they're
And
it's the way that they're putting it together to make episodes instead of make the story, you know, kind of work along, because every chapter isn't done. That wasn't the end of a chapter. That's
no, exactly.
that's
Like, and I think even when we look at Mando or Kenobi, even Ahsoka, like those episodes we watched weekly because they didn't drop at once.
Yeah.
They had a little bit of a story, like you were just saying, and then at the end, we're like, "Oh, I can't wait till next week to see what happens finally to that particular story," and they continue on next week.
Right?
They don't go to another story.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like last week's episode, as much as I almost fell asleep halfway through it, it was a self-contained kind of episode.
But it was like a half an episode, I think.
I think it was
literally they got to the climax and they just rolled the credits.
No, you don't get to the climax because the end of the show is the Osha on the ship waking up, right? With Saul got the mask cover. So you get the whole thing about the kids and then you get the rescue of the girl. Even though there's more story to tell, it was a self-contained episode.
For sure. That episode 3 was more self-contained.
Right. And this one is
little sequence.
This one is like a mid-season cliffhanger or to be continued because, man, you know, it's hitting the wall. Oh, we'll see you next week, everybody.
But the last 5 minutes were great. They were the best 5 minutes of the whole series so far.
Sure.
So
it's like if we did this right now and like, hey, we're going to talk about JoeFest. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming up, and we'll see you next week on the Toy Duo, everybody.
I just, again, I've said this before too. It can only get better. Like, I don't think they could do poor with it. Like they bragged about, and people talk about how much money they put into it and what the budgets were for the whole series and per episode, you know, like, and people are like, we're not seeing that. So like, it's, I just hope we're pleasantly surprised by at least one or two of the episodes. And at the end, it finishes a story of some kind. Like it doesn't introduce Balin Skoll's brother and then they never show him again. Like, so hopefully if the rumors are true, there is going to be a season 2 of this, whether people in the community want it or not. Like it's,
listen, I made a video and I put it on my YouTube and my Instagram. It's like kind of 2 versions of the same video, but basically I kind of like parallel how the First Order took kids and made them stormtroopers. And I'm kind of suggesting that now we're seeing is how the Jedi took kids and made them Jedi, right? And I kind of threw in this like half kind of cock thing that like, oh, is like watching Johnny and Cobra Kai or Karate Kid think he was the villain, but now we see him as kind of like the victim because we see his point of view. So it's like from a certain point of view, right? Just depends on the way you look at it. Got a lot of people responding on Instagram, a lot of people calling me out, telling me I'm not a Star Wars fan, whatever. I don't care about any of that.
They'll always be there.
Yeah, the stuff that I find interesting are the people actually having conversations in the comments with each other. Like somebody says something like, oh, well, the Jedi always took kids, but they got the parents' permission. And then somebody else says, well, I mean, or did
lots of those
or did they do the finger wave? You know, hey, can we take your kid? You know what I mean? A Jedi mind trick.
You want us to take your children.
But the interesting part about and I'm going to go back to last week's episode, and I want to talk about like Luke and Grogu a little bit, because when Luke was giving Grogu the choice, he showed him the outfit, and then he showed him the lightsaber. and he basically said pick, right? So he's got to pick this like outfit or this really cool shiny laser sword. And so in
And then the
Acolyte,
episode ended.
right, but we know Grogu left. So he's probably
Spoilers.
not that much of a kid anymore, right? He's more of an adolescent. But when we saw Osha, what happened was they come down, and the very first thing Saul does is he waves around his fancy shiny lightsaber. So if you're saying, oh, the kids have a choice, is it like you walking up to some stranger in the mall and to their kid and saying, I don't care what the parents want. Hey, kid, do you want some candy?
Yeah, come in my van.
You know what I mean? It's like, I mean,
But if a kid was that powerful, and the
Jack in his
parents
trip.
didn't know anything about it, would they not be troubled about it, and they'd
Yeah.
probably lead to behavioral issues and everything else? So the best thing is to look, you've been born, you've got this gift, and these people are going to bring you along and train you and show you how to blossom with that gift. So it's probably not necessarily kidnapping, but relief from the parents to
yeah, it's
send
almost like I get what you're saying,
powerful
Connor,
baby away.
because if you parallel that into like Marvel, right? You also say like the X-Men school, whatever, Xavier, they would search out the mutants and stuff like that, and the parents didn't know how to help these kids like manage their powers, but then they would take them to this special school and teach them how to use their abilities and stuff like that. So
it's interesting.
yeah,
I mean, it is. I like to think it's not real. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's no comparison to that in our everyday life, really. Like, unless you're a super smart kid, they don't force you to go to college and become a doctor or an engineer, but you are kind of leaned, I guess, in a direction where your parents raise you in a way and save money or do whatever so you can go to the school to be that.
Right.
You know, so it's weird. It's weird when you put it that way, like stealing kids or taking kids. And
yeah, I mean, do they really have a choice? Do they?
Am I ever going to see you again, Mom? And she's like,
no, they're not.
Well,
we know that because
why would
Kenobi's
you wanna
like,
go then?
Kenobi was even like, I had a brother once.
Yeah,
You know what I
thanks
mean?
for bringing
But
that up.
I never
Thanks,
seen him
Filoni.
again. Not allowed to have personal relationships. I mean, it's a tough life for a Jedi, right? But if you think about that parallel, it's an interesting concept, because what happened with Anakin was they took him when he was a little bit older. So he already had a personal relationship with his mom. So when his mom went through that ordeal, he took revenge. If he was younger, he wouldn't have had that connection, and he wouldn't have had that
Probably not. You're
urge
right.
to go get revenge, right?
Yeah.
Which releases that. So
Like a baby, right?
yeah, so it's like you got to see kind of like what the story is developing, I guess. But that's not the real drama though with Acolyte, by the way.
It sucked. They killed the Wookiee. That would.
I don't think they killed him.
Well, I'm pretty sure he died.
Because it isn't it in the trailers that he's jumping off the roof of the thing with his lightsaber while all those Jedi are there?
That's going to be the next flashback we see. We'll call
Is it a flashback?
But it is a flashback because it happened 15 years ago. That's when the kids were taken. So the first one we saw was Osha's point of view, right? Oshi. So now we're going to see, I believe, May's point of view.
Okay.
So in May's point of view, we might see what really went down between, the witch beings and the Jedis, and where, because that Wookiee looks like his eyes go all black too, not just that Padawan, young Padawan who gets all scarred, and the floating guy.
Well, remember, Rogue One, never trust a Star Wars trailer.
But I mean, because they filmed those scenes, like there's lots of scenes in the trailers that have been out for months that have not popped up yet. So the green lady with her whip lightsaber, she at one point arrives on that bug planet they're on now with her whip lightsaber. So she'll be there.
I think that what we're going to see is the Wookiee is not dead. Maybe he's in like some comatose state because the evil dudes got him in the trance, because probably a witch, right? And then when he's all in depth in fighting all the Jedi, the Wookiee's going to have to like come out and is going to to be on his side because he's being mind controlled.
Like a zombie Wookiee? Wow, a zombie Wookiee? I'd be all into that, Vern. Yeah. I think there's 1% chance of that. But zombie Wookiee action figures, yes, please. Here's what my new theory. I kind of thought about this, but now all of those Jedis that are on that planet now, where that there's 10 of them, I think, and then the little beaver scout guy.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure they're all gonna die, and then anyone who ever sees that red lightsaber dude will die, because that will be the non-canon breaking thing that Ki-Adi-Mundi talks about. Oh, but the Sith have been gone for the millennia.
Oh no.
Well,
Mundi
if
didn't
no
say
one
that. He's
tells
only 85
Ki-Adi-Mundi
years
that
old
they
in the
saw a
Phantom
guy with
Menace.
a red lightsaber, then he won't ever know. So they could all die and never get to tell the
It could be.
the High Council, because they're like in the basement council.
Right. Hey, so R2D2 here in the chat is saying, "What's the name of the Wookiee? Is it Harry?" And then are the rest of them the Hendersons? All right. So since you mentioned Ki-Adi-Mundi, there's a little bit of drama going around with that character, right? Because he's in Acolyte and he's a younger adult dude, and a lot of people are upset because in Legacy he was previously kind of aged at 95 years old in the Phantom Menace or something like that.
Ki-Adi-Mundi, you're talking,
based on like some sort of a trading card and some other non-canon website or whatever. And people are upset because now that he's in that, they've given him a birth date on Wikipedia. So what do you guys think about Wikipedia now adding information to a character that people previously thought was only like 95, but now he's over 100?
They can do whatever they want.
I agree.
It's a privately owned website by children who are Star Wars fans, and they like to update things like that for other Star Wars fans to kind of see. Like, is anyone interested? Like how old Jabba the Hutt might be? Like Wikipedia has done some digging and went through some comic books and video games, and boom, they put up what is known to be what his age is. If that changes because Dave Filoni or the lady making the Acolyte makes a new live action Star Wars that adjusts something, then it is what it is. Like I love Star Wars Legends and all the stuff that came in the late 80s and 90s and the books that I read about all these characters. But I knew once Disney took over and they're like, okay, all those books
are done.
Are not canon. We're going to move forward, but we're going to steal from those.
It's going to be a small change
from all those stories, though.
I seen a tweet from a channel from the guy who does retro game in the Mac Cave. Great channel, lovely fella actually, Matt. And he had a tweet from one of the games. The name of the game escapes me now, but it had a bio of Ki-Adi-Mundi, and his age in that game was 60. And I think that was different even prior to the prequels. And I know it's only a small change, but then so was the change they made with Obi-Wan facing off against Vader A New Hope. And even George Lucas went back and made changes all the way back in the 1990s.
Yes, he did.
But when is too many changes too much a bad thing?
When
it's
we're
like,
all dead and we can
if we're moving forward with a new show like The Acolyte and there's supposed to be new characters, fresh story, do they need to get back all the time and pluck all the characters? They did it in The Mandalorian. They went back and got Ahsoka and Luke Skywalker. They've done it here with Ki-Adi-Mundi, and they keep dipping back rather than looking forward. Like The Mandalorian was its own thing, set post Jedi, a different kind of universe, different generation, and to me, it was a great storyline. I loved that episode where Luke Skywalker showed up. I burst into tears. I loved it. But afterwards, did they need to, they did probably need to do that to give that character some sort of
just because Grogu's growth.
Yeah, but it's just they just keep dipping back. And like I said, I'm okay with the odd change here or there, but how many changes are too many? And if they keep changing everything, is it just going to dilute everything?
With the age thing, I don't think they changed anything, because I've watched all the Star Wars movies and even the cartoons and TV shows. In none of those items did Ki-Adi-Mundi pull out the ID that says, I'm 95 years old or I'm 60 years old. So it's not
he never said it.
because it's not something that 90% of fans know about.
Hold on, in the Phantom Menace,
didn't play that video game that you brought up, Connor, right? I'm gonna say,
hold on. In the Phantom Menace, don't you remember when they said, "Hey, Ki-Adi, isn't it your 95th birthday today?"
But so I don't think that's a change. I think they just, because people are complaining too, but they don't realize they can't do that without people like Dave Filoni and Pablo Hidalgo and Favreau, whoever's in charge of the storytelling. They have to approve that stuff. So if they say, "Oh, we're putting Ki-Adi-Mundi in this," they're not like, "Oh, you can't." They obviously there's a reason for it. They didn't pick that character. We'll learn that reason why that particular cone head shaped alien Jedi Master character is in this show. Maybe they didn't need to pick him. They could have just put another random dude with a beard, like there's 3 other random dudes with beards who will never know their names, and they'll all die. Like they're like red shirts in Star Trek. Like all these, there's 10
how
of these
dare you
Jedi that
cross
went
Star
to
Trek
planet,
and Star Wars?
and 4 of them are red
man.
shirts.
Foul! I
But
call foul.
Here's my main
Now it's
point
gonna
on
blow
the
up.
Ki-Adi-Mundi thing. Give me the timestamp in any Star Wars live action storytelling where Ki-Adi-Mundi sees a red lightsaber, and especially in the Acolyte. What part of the Acolyte did Ki-Adi-Mundi see a red lightsaber, or did he see a Sith, or has the word Sith been even said or mentioned? Because it has not.
Yeah.
No, but I'm not focusing on the age thing per se. I'm just making the point that it's just another change, another subtle change. When so many changes have been kind of made, that the point I'm trying to make is how many little changes will take us completely away from an original story arc. If they keep reintroducing older characters, re-changing historical events, like if are they on a dangerous path if they keep dipping back to do that?
All right, so here's what so when Disney bought, like Rick said earlier, when Disney bought Star Wars, they shoved a bunch of stuff on the shelf and they called it legacy. So for them to reach into the legacy bucket and pull it into the canon differently than it was when it was in legacy, I think that's fine. And for anybody who's on X that says that's not okay, then you should call the guy who's in charge of X and ask him why after he bought it he changed the name from Twitter, and he'll tell you it's because he was allowed to do it. Mm-hmm. So in a way, they're world building, and there was so much stuff that there was already built that they had to shelve stuff, and now they're like reaching back because it's losing. I think that some people are trying to make it appear as the popularity or is waning because they lost touch with that legacy. So what they're trying to do is maybe pull a little bit of that into canon, but they got to make it fit into their puzzle that they're building now.
Absolutely. And I think Leslie is a fan of this legacy and the legends that we all know, whether it's Darth Bane or Plagueis, all these characters that we've heard stories about, but not officially in the Star Wars canon timeline that we've all grown up with for 45 plus years now, starting with the original trilogy, right? So I think it's cool when they pull stuff out of, like Dave Filoni. Like, I'm not a fan of the cartoons. I don't think they're the best story. I think they're the worst storytelling in all Star Wars, and that includes books, comics, and movies and TV shows. I think the cartoons are the saddest and the worst stories of all. But he actually was cool enough. He pulled like Kenner Hammerhead and Kenner Colored Walrus Man and Greedo into the cartoons for a few episodes and scenes. And that's just digging into the toy box to give people like me a little bit of excitement and stuff. Like, it's for no other reason. Like, he doesn't change the story. Like, Ahsoka doesn't become a Jedi because Kenner Hammerhead showed up in the episode, or
he doesn't change the story.
It's just for fun. Like,
but that's kind of different then, isn't it? He's dipping into characters that didn't have a backstory and just introduced them. To add the story.
And I'll tell you who's not upset about Ki-Adi-Mundi showing up in this show, and that's all the people younger than us.
Yeah, and what about like
they're thrilled with it because it's a guy from their trilogy that they grew up with. So it's people that are older than us or elder fans that are a little more stuck up on what Star Wars are like. They're the age group that has these problems for some reason. It sucks, but I mean, it's a part of Star Wars now.
Okay, so Connor, when you're talking about little changes, is Han Solo not shooting first Like,
there you go.
is that a bad change? Because Lack was making it earlier.
Well,
You know
that
what I
was
mean?
made
Like
by George, though.
what it did was,
Yeah, but I did make that point that George Lucas was the first one.
Yeah.
Back change. That's a good point from Lack. That it was controversial when that scene was changed.
Yeah.
It upset a lot of fans. It upset it changed the perception of the character of Han Solo, the lovable rogue. You know, he was cornered.
he was more lovable now that he didn't shoot first.
But no, he took action.
Exactly right.
He wasn't going to take any BS off this
Right.
guy coming in making threats on him. So it kind of diluted his character. And again, I'm just making. I'm not arguing against Kiadi Mundi, and I'm just saying if they continue on, and it started with George Lucas, if they continue on making small changes constantly, are they going to grow any new stories, and are they going to dilute the past?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I think that the change they need to make for the original trilogy is Han Solo needs to shoot the gun out of Greedo's hand and not necessarily
kill
kill
shot.
him. Yeah. And then, like at the end of that bar scene, the ambulance guys need to run in and pick the dude up off the ground, and we need to see that he's okay getting into the.
I think the film industry should make some.
That sounds like an A-team version of the Star Wars.
I think there should be rules. Like if your film wins like an Oscar, or your film is inducted into like the National Film History Hall of Fame, then you can't go back 20 years later and change it, which is what George did. And I think,
well, he didn't.
I don't like that he did that. Like I'm glad he made the movies come out in the theaters again, because it put a spark under all of our butts, and we all went and bought the toys again, and they re-released them all again, special edition and Laserdisc and VHS and Betamax and whatever format you can think of, and then the toys, and then eventually episodes 1, 2, and 3. So it rebooted Star Wars. Sadly, him changing those movies a little bit, adding a scene here and there, changing what Han and Greedos did. It did change it, but it made Star Wars alive again. Like it brought Star Wars back from the dead. So me as a fan, I accept he did that just to make more money and to revive the brand. But I think what I said first, if your film wins awards for best movie and screenwriter and all that stuff, you're not allowed to go change it again. Like that should be a rule. Like they should put a lock on it. No, George. No. Can't.
No.
So it would be. It's just silly, but I get it.
I mean, everything
At
changes
the end
with
of
the
the day, I
time.
don't think George is too upset.
I don't either.
He's sitting
on his pile of money, Scrooge McDuck up there.
Scrooge McDuck on a big pile of cash. He doesn't give a damn what's going on with the Acolyte or anything else. He's happy.
He's got a Star Wars room that is now like a room full of like gold coins.
He's blown his nose with $100 bills and not getting.
He did okay for himself, eh? He did okay.
Lighting cigars. George is happy. Let's not worry about George.
Which is interesting, right? Because like, has he made any other movies since then?
No, yeah, he hasn't.
It's a very interesting thing, right? Like it's like from a filmmaker, creative guy, it's like you're just saying, well, I'm out.
But he's back doing lots of interviews and stuff over the past month or two. So I have a feeling we'll see an episode of something or directed by Mr. George himself. Like I think that's totally open to possibilities, and that's cool, man. I'm just glad they're still making new Star Wars at my age.
Listen, so
I went so many years without Star Wars, so I'm happy, man.
In San Diego, in San Diego, they have a town called National City. It's like an outskirt city in San Diego County, and they had banned cruising for a lot of years. And cruising,
driving their car,
like driving the car down the street and stuff with a lowrider.
Haven't heard that term for a while.
So if you remember, American Graffiti, it was all about cruising, and that was set in like Modesto, which is in Northern California. I think a modern cruising movie would be super cool for George.
I agree. Yeah. I'm
I'd
looking
be-
for that
I'd be
Bike
open
Riders
for it.
movie, which is like cruising but on bikes. But
No, it's like the Sons of Anarchy, but for the movies.
actually, I think it's more like the HA.
The what? Oh, yeah,
It's
but they're not
more
going
like-
to call them that. They're not going to call them that.
See cats.
No, I'm not. I didn't either. Like because
Yeah.
it's all
They did.
trademarked and stuff. But I think it's based on a couple of real life, biker dudes.
Yeah, like some pretty. Yeah,
And cool casting. Like there's some weird casting,
Yeah.
but there's some cool casting in there too.
Elvis is in there, right?
Elvis, yeah, the Dune Elvis.
Yeah. All right.
Like-
All right.
like
I think we Star Wars this crowd to the end.
it didn't grow.
So, anyways, let's move on and let's talk about in this week's episode of the TV and movie news you did not know you needed.
But you
Until
did.
now.
New on Netflix this week is Remembering Gene Wilder. And I know you guys are all rushing to watch Netflix right now.
No, I do want to see this. I just haven't had an
I will.
opportunity, but I really do want to catch up. I believe this documentary is really good. So, there's so many iconic movies he was in from our childhoods. I do definitely want to catch this. I just haven't had the chance yet.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I saw the Gilda Radner one, and so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing
another classic. Yeah.
Was there a reason this one came out? I mean, is there?
I don't know. I don't know.
Just random timing.
Long Ridge Video Productions needed to put something out.
That makes as good a sense as anything.
Anyways, it was available as of June 13th. Then the animated Ultraman Rising 2024 is on Netflix as of June 14th. Is everybody rushing over to watch the animated Ultraman cartoon?
No.
No. I think
There's a whole bunch of no's in here. I'm guessing that some of the folks here didn't even know that this Ultraman was even available on Netflix.
Nope.
All right. Well, we're just going to go through this pretty quick. I couldn't really find any real good news. So the last thing is if you were born and living in the 80s, not born in the 80s, but if you were watching like St. Elmo's Fire, The Breakfast Club, there's a show on Hulu called Bratz. And I think it's this guy in the back, the Andrew McCarthy guy, whatever. And I think he's going around interviewing all the people about how they felt about. I haven't seen it, but I think he's going around interviewing everybody about their roles and their responsibilities and being part of the Brat Pack.
It's a whole lot of Estefezes.
Right?
The big news of the week, I think, is Spaceballs 2 is confirmed.
What?
Josh Gad and the man himself are going to be writing and producing it. So
no, I did not know that. How come nobody sent me? I guess Connor's done with us after that. But
you're not talking about Star Wars anymore for you guys.
He's like, I'm out of here. I got to go watch Ultraman on Netflix.
Or maybe you got him going. Yeah.
The Spaceballs 2 is just as confirmed as like the next 4 Star Wars movies. How they're all confirmed too. So,
well, somebody mentioned the chat earlier, and I thought that
doesn't mean a lot until it happens. Until they're like they casted this person and they cast, but it's weird because the best cast, the 2 Canadian guys, one's dead and one is retired from acting. So if they can pull Rick Moranis back in to portray Dark Helmet again,
they can't.
Points.
They couldn't even get him in Ghostbusters. They tried.
Yeah, but Ghostbusters is not Spaceballs.
Who's going to be the Wookiee dude or the pit bull character? Yeah,
Barf. Come on,
who's gonna play him?
Not John Candy, and
you don't think you don't think he'll pick up that role?
Yeah, they'll dig him up just for that role.
He might try.
They can just use AI. Chat GPT will help it out. We'll help him out.
Jeez, who's that comedian now? I'm sure they could figure it out. Maybe it's all new characters. Like it's like episode 1, 2, and 3 with Darth Maul.
Oh, you know who would be good is that Plemons guy, Jesse Plemons.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
You know who I'm talking about, right? He was in.
But now I'm totally
Breaking
thinking
Bad.
it'll be like based on like the sequels or the prequels, or maybe they'll make fun of all the Disney Plus shows and
that would be hilarious.
Fat Mandos and I don't know.
Okay, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Northern Nomad said it was spectacular.
I thought it was great too, man. I can't believe it only made like $13.
Well, I have to wait for it to come to a reputable streaming service to watch it. But
reputable.
So I can't really watch it yet.
Disclaimer that
Jonathan says he couldn't get into Ultraman. Disney should be doing Dr. Aphra. Gilster saying that. Dr. Aphra would be a really cool series for them to do.
Absolutely, man. And
Yeah,
that would
good storyline.
Yeah. I have a feeling though, if they,
a lot of the fans of the Acolyte who like.
I have a feeling if they were going to do a Dr. Aphra, they would do an animated one. I don't know why.
Then we miss out on those cool droids and.
I think that's what they'd end up doing just because. I need
Someone
to
should
watch that.
step forward to Disney and say, "Hey, I want to make this Dr. Aphra 2-part movie, or 10-episode series. I want to cast this person and this person." I don't. It's a cool cast of characters, and I've only read one of the comics, and just to learn who the characters were. And it's a cool timeline too. It can be set in a timeline where there's Vader and there's other recognizable characters. But yeah, I'm open to anything. Like, I don't think there's anything that gets
Just
turned
remember,
down.
if they announce it, there's only a 1 in 6 chance it'll get made.
It just seems like nothing gets turned down at this point. It's anything.
Almost,
Here, I got
right?
an idea. Let's do this. Deal. Let's go ahead. And then 4 years later, maybe it's not going ahead.
Yeah.
Like that Red 5 Rogue Squadron movie. Like, apparently
that
that's
would be
going
brilliant.
ahead again, right?
Is it?
That's like the lady's writing it, and Disney or Lucasfilm didn't tell her, don't stop writing it. So they're obviously paying her.
Well, that doesn't mean that they're actually paying her, though.
And she's not making the Wonder Woman sequel movie, so she can do this now. So I don't know. But they can only make so many movies in a year. They might have to make them and start banking them now, I think. Like we do with our shorts and videos. Just make 3 at a time, then put 2 in the bank, save it for that rainy day. Boom! Hammerhead, a Star Wars story. Just drop that Christmas Day. Surprise everyone. And then burn Harrison Ford in American Graffiti 2, where he's like an 80-year-old mechanic guy, fixing the cars, and do it. Then maybe they already filmed it and they're just waiting to drop it one day.
All right, I'm actually trying to get a link here because I didn't do a spotlight of the week this week just because I knew that Star Wars conversation was going to take a little bit long, so I kind of skipped that. Plus, I didn't have anybody set up to talk about. I was kind of busy most of the week.
Did you see those customs I posted? That I thought Vern would love those. There's some Breaking Bad customs, and what was the other one? Fight Club.
Where did you post those?
On Twitter, and I think you commented on them.
Oh yeah. Did I comment?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't think you hit the dislike button because I can't see it anymore.
All right. Anyways, we're gonna move right into the hot or not section. These are the toys that are being peddled to us this week. Mixed into this presentation will be some conversation about what's going on over at JoeFest. We got a couple of videos that we're going to pop up as well from JoeFest, just so you guys can see some stuff that's happening there. These are some Walmart exclusive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from NECA. Talking about NECA, I'm very upset because they have those Ben Cooper costumed action figures from NECA. Have you guys seen those?
Those look cool, man. The little kid ones in the costume.
Yeah, they're sold out online. There's no way to get them. As soon as the links go up, I went, I had them in my cart, could not check out. They were just sold out. They're not available at any of the stores near me.
Not at Ross?
No, they're only $20. They're at Walmart, supposedly. If anybody sees the Ben Cooper figures at Walmart, I am highly interested in not paying the $59 that people are getting for them on eBay. But I'm definitely in for cost plus shipping if you guys happen to ever see them. But anyways, these are not them. These are the Ninja Turtle monster figures. I guess that's the Hunchback, and that other one is Dracula or the Wolfman.
Something's wrong with the color on your screen.
I think they're black and white.
They're black and white figures.
What?
Yeah. They're either black and white figures or they're just, the photos are just taken in black and white.
No, they're black and white figures.
Okay. All right. They do look cool. I like them. Even if I saw them in store though, that's probably where they would stay.
Yeah.
It's just a rabbit hole,
Yeah.
You can get those, and then you have to get.
NECA always smash the figures with the molds and the paint apps, and anyone that's into turtles are going to be mad about these, but wouldn't float my boat.
Yeah.
And I got some breaking NECA news, or some not breaking NECA news.
Ryan?
What, so these won't break?
A couple of days ago, I was sitting on my couch and I heard whack. I'm like, oh, what the hell was that? Like, so this NECA War Duke fell off my shelf there, which is about 5.5 feet. It fell, boom, and nothing broke on it. Nothing.
That's because
I've
he's
never
wearing.
ever heard anyone
Nuh-uh.
drop a NECA figure and it didn't break.
That's because he's wearing armor.
So there you
gotta
go.
be it.
Yeah.
But
so,
I'm blessed by the toy gods.
Yeah.
Thank you, NECA, for.
so these ones don't have armor, so these would definitely break.
Well, he's got a turtle shell.
If that was Dean's figure, it would have been broke.
Luggage.
All right, so this right here is some prototype pictures from Ramen Toy showing off their skills in building like a car. And I think we were all like trying to figure out what this one was, right? Is this the one that he was teasing, or do you think this is just
The Mad Max.
Well,
That
this
is
is a
nice.
repaint of the Ramen Racer with some cool additions.
Yeah, this one looks really cool.
It looks badass as
Yeah.
hell.
Looks lovely.
Yeah, it does look really cool. So with that, I'm going to show you the Ramen Racer at JoeFest.
That will look great.
The only unfortunate part of that video is this car was sitting right next to it and he never panned over.
Was that from Super John?
Yeah. So that's from John.
Ramen's been posting some good pictures. He has a nice table set up compared to like a lot of the other bigger brands that don't have cool looking tables. So props to Ace for coming to America.
Yep.
And showing off these toys, man. Like
For sure.
the stuff he's showing off is looking pretty good. And
Everything he's done looks fantastic. If I had one criticism just on Ramen Toys, that he's got a lot of spinning plates going now. It would be nice. I know he got the mask vehicle out early, and some collectors got that, but it would be good to see the next product in hand. With
well, the racer is already in a bunch of people's hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's being
That's
delivered. Yeah, both waves. Wave 1 and wave 2. He said there might be a follow-up one depending on interest, because I was telling him I missed out on the first batch, the first couple runs or whatever, and then he said that he didn't even get one. So
What?
so the racer's out. I think the very next thing that's probably going to be done is that Marshall figure, which I did order. So
that one's
that's been in like
production
now. It's a year now that's been announced, so.
But I think it's.
You like the Ramen Racer better than this version, Vern?
Oh, the aces are going to go out because I saw the production shots of like all the helmets and all the parts in the boxes and stuff. So I think those aces of aviation and then the Marshall.
Yeah. And I think for a company like his, that'll really be a boost. Then when stuff starts getting into hands, people are sharing photos and videos, and it'll just build confidence. Because I know talking to some people, they were kind of skeptical to order because of how some of the. I know he's a company, not a Kickstarter, but how some of those deals have gone bad in the past with collectors. So.
We had somebody on our show that used to talk about that all the time. I'm not giving him any money because it's a fly by night, and then he's just going to take our money and run. But that guy was pretty negative, so
he's always negative.
Yeah, I just didn't pay any attention to what was being said. And then seeing the racer actually show up and seeing the quality of it, to me, just makes me believe that these guys are really legitimately trying.
I think he's the real deal. Again, it's not my opinion. I think he's the real deal, and I think what he's doing is fantastic. And I am tempted to go in for the bread van.
It's going to be tough because of how long you're going to have to wait.
Yeah, but like you said, if you start to see stuff in hands, you're not going to mind dropping that pre-order and wait the 12, 18 months because you know that the stuff is coming. So I just think that it'd be a positive thing for him.
Yeah.
If that was that.
Well, I'm totally going to get 3 bread vans, and it'll still be cheaper than like a Cantina or a Ghost.
And have more paint up, but it won't have as many cups. That's the only problem. You know.
No, but Vern, I can get Vern to make me some cups, right?
Yeah, I can do some cups.
And when I get Hammerhead, he comes with at least 3 cups.
Right. And then if you got that that other thing, you can have you're going to have over 100 little cups.
Can you just take a straw and cut it?
There's
into
another
like 100
character
cups?
that comes with 3 cups too. It's not just. Oh yeah, the hammerhead and the bib. So I mean, if you get both
Bib
of
Fortuna,
those,
yes.
you got 6 cups right there.
I'm
And
good.
then if you got that one half of the Black Series bar, there were cups in there.
And I only got half a bar.
Yeah, but you
I
got
never made a second half.
right.
But you bought 2 halves, didn't you, Vern?
I didn't. I only bought 1.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I
Okay,
gotta
so
open that up.
So this is some sort of a NECA convention exclusive, some sort of alligator. Is this from a property I don't know about?
The baby dinosaur family.
Oh,
No.
okay. So a property I'm not
Oh
aware of.
yeah, the dad.
It's a good look, like the same, not Alf, but the same people that made Alf kind of thing.
Oh,
There
okay.
you go, Rick. There's the dinosaur you need.
The soft goods on this guy are freaking dynamite. He looks great. Not my toy. Dino will be all over this for sure. He loves the dinosaurs.
He's got it pre-ordered, I'm sure.
Probably. Hopefully it
But
won't.
pretty cool. Like, see, this is a cool idea for a convention exclusive. Like, I'm pretty sure this is like Papa Dinosaur, whatever his name is. They made him as a figure and part of their line, regular release, and then make him in, Comic-Con cosplay. I think is brilliant. Like what they did with Alf. Alf in cosplay with a little poster tube and a lanyard. Like, that's cool stuff, man. For conventions, like a cool idea for a convention exclusive.
Yeah.
Right.
Hasbro would probably never do. Like, could you see a G.I. Joe in cosplay with?
Oh, that would be so hilarious because they did those Big Bang Theory figures too, and when they did the Comic-Con exclusive ones, they always had like some sort. Of course, they always
Spider-Man
hero shirts, but they had like the Comic-Con bags, right? Like
That's
the
cool.
convention bag. So it would be cool to have like a G.I. Joe guy, like maybe Chuckles show up.
Yeah, like because that's
Got a
close to
Batman
being.
shirt or something, or a Marvel, right? And then you give him like a bag, like his Comic-Con bag, but he can still have his backpack and stuff because he's got to go to Comic-Con.
That might even be more fun than Star Wars Christmas and holiday themed Black Series figures.
Right. Zartan, his masks are like cosplay masks of some kind, right? Like he's got a Mandalorian mask or something so he can blend into the crowd. I don't know.
Oh,
Well,
and
I
there's a
always
rumor.
thought for G.I. Joe convention it would be go back to Star Wars where you've got Luke and Han and Stormtrooper, but you can't change the heads of if you wanted to put say Duke and Flint in a Cobra Trooper disguise, you can't because of the pegs. And I always thought they're really missing a gap there. Like they've got all the molds. All they'd have to do is slightly change the neck piece, and you could have like 2 G.I. Joe characters in Cobra disguise. That would be
That would be cool, actually. Yeah, that's a good idea. You could probably just buy some.
There's those 3D print heads they just sold to fans. Like what I can't remember what they called them, but they kind of stopped doing them now, right? Hasbro Pulse made you can get a custom Ghostbusters or Star Wars. Yeah, selfie series.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll make another go at that again because I can't see that not being somewhat successful.
I can see them doing it and making it like a convention thing.
Yeah, because if you can do it at the convention,
pegs are massive on these guys.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
That's
huge.
what she said.
Not to me.
No, she said it to Dan.
Okay, look. So then we got these Viturian hacks. These are the 4-inch ones, right? Because of the Viturian.
I think so. I can't confirm because I know that Boss Fight does. I think the hacks is
They
a
do.
3.7.
I thought their epic hacks were the 6-inch.
Yeah, they do. They do both. This
That's
one
like-
is the one you're looking at is a 4.
Okay,
So
yeah,
118.
The
it always
cats are cool.
confuses me because they look awesome, but of course these are just renders, so it's
Cool
gonna be fun.
accessories. I love accessories.
What line is this now? What property is this? I don't know it.
Boss Fight. They're
Their own brand, their own IP.
Oh, so it's their own characters. Oh, that's cool.
Kind of medieval-ish.
This guy is the cat soup maker.
But he drinks beer too.
Let's see, and then you got this guy right here who
He's
is
awesome.
I wish I was the Street Fighter genie.
Yeah.
No upper arm articulation, but I know it's only digital render, so
Yeah.
probably is 4-inch. Yeah.
And this one is the Don't Call Me Spock because I'm too short.
It's kind of like knockoff Dungeons and Dragons. You know what I mean? Like
It's kind of like my hair.
the other realm that not the cool kids played, but the not so cool kids.
Yeah. I mean, a little tweaking right on that hair. I mean, black, paint it black. Got to put some gray streaks in there.
Like Spock.
Star Wars T-shirt.
Yeah, yeah. He's all ready for Comic-Con.
Slingshot weapons, eh? This guy's
Oh,
cool
yeah.
Rick only thinks this guy's cool because he's got a long white beard and he's lacking anything up top.
This
I
poses
just love Dwarf.
the question: why does Rick not wear an eye patch?
Yeah,
Maybe one day.
You should have wore the eye patch for this
want to see,
episode.
Rick.
just for going out. I just wear that, save that for going out for steak dinners and stuff.
Just for shopping.
You could have put your
Going
eye
to
patch
Walmart.
on and we could have called you whatever the name of this character is.
I love dwarf guys. They're cool, man. And they all have to have beards.
What should we name this guy?
Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so simple.
I need
Left
to get
Coast
I need to
Viking.
Rick bigger.
All right. And then, of course, this week we had the Marvel Legends series release, these Strange Tales action figures. And now we know why they're not available at Target and Walmart, because there's no way that Damien's going to be hanging from the shelf with his chest sticking out and that pentagram at Target. Parents would be just as upset as when they hung the Princess Leia captured by Jabba the Hutt on the shelf back in 1997 or whatever year that was.
These will for sure be hanging on your pegs at Walmart and Target.
Can I ask a question?
They
on
are
this?
mainline. They will be at every.
No, they said that they were
Fan
fan
channel,
channel and Amazon.
But was it build a figure, not 5 figures always? Or is there sometimes there with 6 figures?
No, the wave was always 6 or 7 figures, but there's always one that doesn't have a build-a-figure part.
Oh,
Yeah, you
so
said that the other day, but it's not always.
Because it's one leg,
Black.
look, it's right leg, left leg, right arm, left arm, head, body.
And torso. Okay.
Unless they have a tail or extra.
Well, that
big
would come
arm.
with the body or the head, probably.
Because
So-
when
Yeah,
I
no,
bought
because when I
the,
saw this announced, I always thought the waves were in 6 with 5 bath pieces, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
is
the
that a
5.
bit? Oh, so that's
digits,
standard.
the head.
So I
so the
can't get
Wolverine one does not have a build-a-figure piece in this wave,
Right. But it's still
and he'll be the
part of-
best seller.
Yeah. That and typically I find that very interesting that they gave that one the non-build-a-figure part, because being the one figure that a lot of people are probably going to want, they're not going to get that build-a-figure part, right? So
No, but
of
now they
course,
got to
Moon
find
Knight's
the
gonna get a
girl that
part.
they don't want to get
Yeah.
the 2 parts.
yeah, so you're
Yeah.
going to have to get these 2. There's 1 painted body, 2 painted body, 3 painted body figures in there.
And when I looked this
4.
morning in Amazon, I believe the 2 women were sold out.
Oh,
Or
I didn't know
three
that.
sold
Really?
out.
Yeah.
Well, could be wrong. It changes all
I'm
the time.
psyched for that Wolverine with lack, man. That just looks wicked.
My
Yeah,
one
Br-
comment
Br-
on this Wolverine figure, it looks badass, but I don't know why they didn't use an updated Wolverine body that exists with
'Cause it's
pinless
Hasbro.
arms and pinless legs.
Dan smashed
Okay.
it.
That
I have to say that Bloodstone figure now. I think that's stunning.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
Brian's getting them all. Let's take a look at Moon
Yeah,
Knight.
looks good.
I'm in.
Moon Knight
I'm
comes
in.
with the head.
the bath is
Look.
cool, isn't it?
Even without buying the rest of them, I might buy Moon Knight and just do like a head swap right here. Right? That
Yeah.
head on Moon Knight's body would look super cool.
Good looking
It
figure.
works.
Yeah.
I'm actually really surprised at this whole wave because it's not what I thought.
Yeah. It's
None
an
of these
awesome-
characters are who I thought they were going to be when they mentioned Strange Tales. Like,
Yeah, me either. I didn't think they were going to be these either. This one's actually, man, all
Maybe this
of
guy.
them are kind of slam dunks here, I think.
I
Yeah.
think this was a hit wave for me.
And this is an upgrade. This one's an upgrade on a previous figure, isn't it?
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
look-
you know what? There,
I love
it's
that.
just
I
a
love that.
base, right?
good looking
Yeah.
face for sure.
You know how I would use this head, by the way, is if I wanted to get a Roger Moore head sculpt and make a James Bond, I might put this on some other body and then
Voodoo.
make a Live and Let Die. Short. Anyways, this is probably by
That's
far like
fun,
my
okay.
favorite figure in this wave.
That's
And
still a
it's
good looking
it's
figure.
hold
Dan.
on, hold on.
female sculpt, is it?
Yeah, Dan's gonna show us. Oh yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah, it's cool.
The head is the big difference for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
and the paint. That there's a buckle.
What are
on
you
the
going to do
case.
with your old one, Dan, when you get the new one? Are you just
not
going
even
to
that old.
Yeah, actually, that was a Doctor Strange. So that was released at the first Doctor Strange movie. What was that 16, 17?
Okay.
This is just a really cool figure.
And that Bloodstorm, man.
Yeah, she looks mean.
Yeah.
Is this on the updated female body? Does anyone know?
I don't know, but I'm hoping it is.
It looks pretty new because
It does.
the leather vest and the leather
jacket.
sleeves.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
the biker jacket is just awesome.
It does look different than the previous Storm figure, so I think it is.
Yeah, because I think she's never had a leather jacket like this before.
Well, they have the Storm with the leather jacket, but yeah, this one looks a little different. So Wolver Claws there, Weapon of Vengeance. If you have the Ghost Rider, the new one, I think this is like, I love that shot that they have of the Ghost Rider and the Wolver. This
But why didn't so the previous version of I could be wrong, but the previous version of the brown suit Wolverine, we got two heads with that one.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So why didn't they give him just a plain set of hands with claws and the spare head? So collectors would have potentially had two figures if they went for this one. I think they always just miss a beat. Like you'll have to show them a new company there bringing out a range of their own figures with loads of accessories. And I know there's still people out there looking for that brown version of Wolverine. And that would have been, again, someone mentioned slam dunk. That would have been a slam dunk for any.
And because it doesn't come with a Build-A-Fig part, it's it's not like an extra cost really. Like it's
no, they have the pieces already.
Yeah, they could have thrown them in. It would have been a nice touch.
I think so.
Yeah, they didn't do it because they're going to release the other brown suited Wolverine again in another box. Yeah. This guy is probably the one that I'm like least excited for. But you need him for the leg, right? So don't really not.
I don't even know who this guy is.
I don't either. Not my thing. Damon.
I like his hair.
Yeah.
I do like the hair.
And his tattoo.
Yeah. You know what? I can see this head actually on one of my G.I. Joe Cobra figures.
Yes. For the parts.
That would be kind of cool. Maybe Scrap Iron before he gets his face blown up. And then of course
the Dracula.
I mean, yeah, you just got to have Dracula.
You have to.
He looks really good.
Dracula, of course, written by an Irishman, Bram Stoker, but
But it's Marvel's Dracula, so they actually this version they have a trademark on, believe it or not. Like, and it's not something you can trademark unless you put the word Marvel's in front of it.
Okay. It kills it. It looks awesome. The fangs.
It looks great.
Yeah.
The extra head is pretty badass too. And was it this one or one of the girl figures they mentioned like articulated hair? This one
it's just a double head, right?
Yeah. And then of course you got
finally.
Good paint apps on her. The paint looks good.
You were looking forward to this one, Dan, for a long time.
Oh yeah, man. I'm a big fan. I don't know if you remember or not, but I had the Spirits of Vengeance. Rise of the Midnight Suns poster collection on my wall or the door over here at one point. So yeah, that storyline was great.
That's cool.
And I think these boxes look fantastic too.
Yeah,
a new logo kind of introduced to it.
And they were talking about her hair being translucent. That's obviously relevant to the character.
Oh, okay.
So that's a cool effect that they've sculpted.
My hair is translucent too.
It is. Mine's gonna be one day. All right, and then of course this is the Build-A-Figure.
Yeah, that's a stunning figure.
You know, and that one, it doesn't look that much different from the Toy Biz. They notice they always try to do something different, but
it's just the size, right? Like it's, I don't know how the scale of this character is supposed to be, but I mean, I like my Build-A-Figures to be big and beefy. And was that funny?
I think
we all had Blue Oyster Bar music in our head. We move on.
Well, think about all the paint apps that they didn't do on this figure to save money too.
You don't think that they printed this out or with white plastic and then sent it.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Yeah.
4 coats of black paint. No, it's red, and they paint it all black and just leave the eyes unpainted.
I mean, it's possible, right? All right, and then what's this guy? Who's this guy? Rick?
The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. I think it's
I'll
just
be
a
right
San
back.
Diego Comic-Con exclusive.
Oh, is this a Comic-Con exclusive?
I believe it is. I believe I only posted a couple of exclusives.
Okay, so that's okay.
Hanging on the wires from one of the WrestleManias. WrestleMania X11.
I'm going to Comic-Con this year, so if I get a chance and if people are looking for anything from Comic-Con, just kind of hit me up. And
you're going to the real Comic-Con?
I'm actually going to San Diego Comic-Con, yeah.
Send you a list. Send you a list.
Did you get a media pass?
No, I got a regular pass.
Oh, okay. You should always try and get a media pass being on the
the funny thing is San Diego Comic-Con is really like their application thing is they want to see like your press card type of thing, like so that you work for a regular like outfit, and then you also have to send them links to an article that you have had posted in the last 90 days. So you got to be like current, unless you work in the industry, but you got to have supposedly you got to have your documents from whatever studio you work for and stuff like that, your little card or information and stuff like that. So it's not easy to get like a press thing for Comic-Con. I know what you
mean. It's a little different than going to a smaller convention and saying, "Can I get a press pass?"
I got invited to the Emerald City Comic-Con, but there was no way. I just couldn't swing going up to Oregon at that time.
Yeah, one of my friends on Instagram, he's I can't remember, Gabe is his name, but his channel is Star Wars Collectors or whatever. But he gets a lot of these sponsorships where they're like, "Here, we'll send you a big crate of Oreos, Star Wars Oreos." Right. He just made a post this morning like, "Hey, I'm going on the Star Wars cruise with all these Star Wars actors and Tamara Morrison and Bo-Katan." And so because he's getting like hundreds of thousands of followers on his social media, TikTok and Instagram, he's now getting all these
invites for stuff.
Yeah. So like he totally, like he doesn't even have to apply to San Diego Comic-Con now for a press pass. Like they will just mail him a press pass kind of thing.
Well, I got super excited because like a week and a half ago, I finally hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, and then I was up to like 105 at one point, and then the next thing I know, I was like at 999 again.
Sorry, I had to do it, Vern. Just dark looks cool,
but that's fine. So the Street Sharks, and then okay, so we're into the GI Joe, but let me show you this other video from JoeFest. This is the bridge layer that they have from Ramen Toy.
The good thing is that you can actually buy the Razor set by itself without the car, and you can put onto the car.
Man, that thing is spot on. That scale, that's incredible.
That red and black one is bringing back Galoob A-Team attack tank vibes.
I see that too. I don't see like whoever the bad guys are in the Palatoys. I just see A-Team bad guys or A-Team.
Looks awesome. I'm tempted.
But yeah, hats off to Ace, man. Hopefully he gets a lot of, pre-sales and interest in his, because I think he's got a JoeFest exclusive, like brown, desert sand version of that tank. And with those tanks, there's like the tank, and then there's like the add-on. You can add on the bridge part, you add on the different cannons and stuff. So he's I think he's got that part figured out, and I hope it's all on straight and narrow when it comes to like Joe Blow Tank Company. I hope they don't come complaining.
Yeah.
Hey, that's our
So there's
brand name or whatever, because it's just a
So I
generic.
have a longer video that I'll show once we get through the rest of these things, and it's Ace, and he's talking about that tank and the
so you were just teasing us with that one.
Yeah, I wanted to show those other ones, but there's a little bit of a longer clip that John over at Awesome Geek Show, Super Awesome Geek Show, he talked to him, had him explain kind of like the tanks, and then he mentions the price for the tank in the early bird. So it's to me, I think that's pretty cool. But these are these pictures I got from Full Force Podcast, and what I'm going to do is I just want to share his Twitter handle. If you're not following him on Twitter, give him a follow. He's posted some pictures. Now, some of these I think I got from John, like the one on the right I got from John, but these close-ups I pulled from the Full Force Podcast Twitter account. So when we go through the pictures, just remember, he's there. He took those pictures, and we're just showing them off because they get a much clearer picture of these. 3¼ inch O-ring figures that Super 7 are going to do. Now, they are going to call them Reaction Plus, I guess.
Yes, so it's a new line. They're going to call it Reaction Plus, and from some of the pictures I've seen, it showed a $20 price tag on it. But
I did not see that, so I was speculating they're going to be closer to 30, but 20 is not that bad.
Well, like I said, there was a picture that was right in front of a sign that says our new brand is called Reaction Plus, and then it showed a little $20 price tag for their convention exclusives. But their convention exclusives are the 5 POA type, so.
Right.
Yeah, the chances are if the regular 5 POA are like, $18 in the US, I can see these O-ring style being like 25 in the US.
Yeah. So Mod Extra is saying he's hearing $28. But the good thing is at $28, they're going to be $3.99 at Ross next year.
Yeah, possibly.
Or the year after. So anyways, that's the Snake Eyes.
I don't hear that Super 7 were losing the G.I. Joe license, or maybe that was for the 7-inch figures, was it? I'm
maybe
surprised when I seen these pictures today.
I'm guessing that maybe they're going to get rid of their Ultimates line.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. There's definitely still have a license because this is a new thing from them.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big G.I. Joe guy, but I think the idea of doing this is a good idea. Because how he's painting them in a cartoon and the comic book styles, which is what their license is. It's to do these in based on comic, I think video games and cartoons only, not for anything else.
Hasbro brought out their 3 3/4 inch G.I. Joe line. They relaunched it there about 3-4 years ago. It failed. They've pulled it since now. They've stopped doing it. So.
Why do you think it failed? Because I think they look like crap. Kind of like I think all vintage collection now looks like crap. Like I think it's because they don't look good and they're not appealing. But these appeal to the people they should appeal to, which is the older G.I. Joe collectors who had O-rings as a kid.
But the original Reaction line didn't do great, did it? And again, I don't think it.
Well, you know what? Here's where you got.
Joe it was the multi-articulation when they brought out these 5 POA versions. I just thought it was a strange.
I agree.
I have a friend who used to collect GI Joes and will not buy any of these O-ring figures from Super 7 because they're not made by Hasbro. Right?
They will have a Hasbro logo on the package.
No, it's not. It's not the same.
Did your friend buy those retro ones that came out? The Walmart.
The ones from Hasbro.
Well, Hasbro still makes them because they included them with their Transformer vehicles.
Yeah, and
they still have O-ring figures,
right? So there's a difference. So, anyways, that was the Snake Eyes. You got a Cobra Commander here. This will be interesting because with the Reaction figures, they had 2 versions of that Cobra Commander, right? They had one with the vac metal, and then they had one without, and he had a pink cape. So
I bet you they go back metal with this too.
I hope so. That would be really cool.
I suppose it comes down to what the paint is going to like. I mean, as Rick said, if they're more in line with what the comic book versions are, and maybe the paintwork will make them striking. But looking at these and the price point that Mod Extra just put in the chat there, I don't know.
The price point is off.
I won't buy any of them for $28.
I think that's the only thing I've seen people complain about is how much they cost, right?
Yeah, there's no way that I could justify $28 for this in my mind, right? Like
too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 35 Canadian. Like that's a lot. Like
that's better.
Those $5 ones, those $3.99 ones you're finding at Ross right now. Those are $29 at Canadian.
Oh my gosh,
literally
crazy.
But what we talked about before the show for a quick minute. I just think they really missed the ball by having unpainted prototypes of a line of figures that are exclusive to you because how you're going to color form them. Like you're going to have these in these
it's a surprise. They want
cartoon colors, which I think will make them popular because that's what makes the vintage Kenner figures so nostalgic to all of us because of the colors they chose to make all the plastics and the paints. That's what will make these sell.
Rick's saying that he's upset because they didn't bother to like paint these, but I'm saying that what they're doing,
pay a damn person.
It's a tease to give you like a tease because there's going to be a reveal later. They don't want to spoil their own reveal.
I think they could actually probably even get in trouble for showing these unpainted because their license is for showing the likeness of the cartoon. There's nothing here that is a cartoon. There's no picture of a cartoon.
I'm sure the
card back right behind those.
Yeah, but that's not that card back is a Hasbro based kind of design. It's not based on a cartoon.
I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to research it. But that's CoverGirl, and I think
she's supposed to be blonde.
Still way better. No, CoverGirl I think had was she blonde or red hair?
Well, this version, what I read one of the descriptions was the blonde version of CoverGirl, which is from one of the cartoony things, I think.
All right. And then they had the G.I. Joe bat. I think it looks pretty good.
I do too. I just wish the price point was better.
You go for the blue look.
Yeah, I do think they look good. And then, of course, they had their reaction. And they see this is the 20. It's a Python Patrol Trooper here. And then
5 POA.
Cobra Trooper. And I'm guessing that's the reaction. That's not necessarily the reaction plus. So they're
correct.
Still 20.
When I saw these, I thought they were convention exclusives.
Yeah, I might pick up Glinda just because of the Dragonfly is going to have the Glinda in it. I think it would be cool to have. I have an older version of the Glinda on a card back. That one that was like in the 25th anniversary, whatever it was. And then I still have that on card. And then to have this one would be kind of cool since you're going to get that other version.
Oh, I just noticed that Cobra Immortal has got like a red arm and a red leg. That's
the prototype. Some of them are going to have purple and green and no, I don't know.
No, that's pretty cool though. I dig that.
Yeah, that is neat. It would be cool as if like they did multiples where like the other arms were different colors too, and that you could mix and match them and make one good one, and then have just like they did with the Boba Fett stuff like that.
So just because these two are on the screen, so am I correct that these two colored versions of these characters were never ever made by Hasbro? Because Hasbro never made figures based on the cartoon colors, right?
No, Glenda was made for South America, so there was a different market.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the other character.
I think probably the same.
So it's interesting. Like I wonder if that's like another thing that the Super 7 can dig into. Like, oh, well, you can do the looks of how they were in South America, or the looks to what maybe Palatoy did in the UK with the bad guys in the Action Force. Because you never know, man. The license could mean more than just the video games and cartoons too, if that's an Argentina-based character, right?
Yeah, the Glinda was like their version. It was a repaint of a Scarlet or whatever.
Yeah.
That was then they kind of going along with what we were talking about earlier about retconning Star Wars. They retconned the character and made it a code name for Scarlet when they re-released it like later, whatever. But
hey, Eric's just in time to tag me out because I miscalculated dinner and I gotta hop off.
All right, Dan. Thanks for hanging out.
See you, Dan.
See ya.
Eric, glad to see you're feeling better. See you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Eric's just in time. He missed all of the Star Wars conversation we had earlier.
Oh well. Maybe that was tactical. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you ever have G.I. Joes, Eric, as a growing up?
No. So I was born in '87, and G.I. Joes just weren't popular with kids my age.
They were all
I mean,
neon at that
like
time.
it was the tail end of, I think.
Let me put this into perspective for you,
popularity.
Eric. I graduated from high school in 1988.
And I'm 29.
All right,
Right?
these are the Zamet and Tomax, right? Like in streetwear.
Okay, these are cool because they've got the suits on. So I suppose if you had a Joe collection and didn't have this version of it, it might be a nice addition to your collection.
Yeah,
For sure it would be.
and these are from 118 Archive over on Instagram.
Yeah, these guys and the Cobra Commander look pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they look great.
I just don't think it's enough. I'm not going to dip into a whole 3 3/4 inches.
They look good, but there is something to me when I look at like even that Snake Eyes, it looks a little bit off for the O-ring. Like it doesn't feel like the same O-ring figure. I don't know.
It's so hard to tell though when they're not painted, because I was looking at I was thinking the same with Snake Eyes, because
there's no paint on Snake Eyes.
In it.
Snake Eyes is a one color black figure, isn't he?
Yeah, but they're gonna do the belts probably different, but yeah, like I just seems off, right? Like to me a little bit like doesn't really feel like that same Snake Eyes I would be used to. But it could be that I just because you're looking at a picture.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why Hasbro doesn't make the O-ring G.I. Joes like kind of like retro style?
They got out of it. They just got out of the line, and
they do it.
It's not that it's not like they just gave exclusive license to Reaction in this case.
No, because Haya Toys also makes O-ring.
Joes.
Are they O-ring? No, they're just super duper articulated, like vintage collection.
Yeah.
And Hasbro still makes some O-rings with those Transformers.
With the Transformers, and they did the O-ring
and the Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
and Ghostbusters now. So Hasbro's not getting out of the O-ring gang. They're just,
well, that's why I was curious why they didn't do it for one of their own brands. Yeah,
there you go. There's the answer to your question.
Licensing your brand is you make more money than when you produce the toys and sell them. There's more money that way because you don't do anything, but go to the bank with the check. Like that's all you do now as Hasbro. You just go to the bank with the check.
Yeah,
you don't,
and then you don't
even do that. You push the accept button on your keyboard now, and everyone else does all the work. They deal with headaches of factories and shipping and.
Fair enough.
It's when it's your brand, you want it to be strong. So hopefully, it doesn't fail, right? As a
I think that there was like some timing involved because if you look back and see what was happening when Valaverse was trying to launch their Kickstarter for that Action Force, they ran that Kickstarter a couple of times, right? And then when that Action Force was getting ready to like get delivered, Hasbro was actually coming out with their classified series, the 00 Snake Eyes. That they were timed almost. The release was timed about the same. So I think
what a coincidence.
Yeah. So I think that it's like there was probably, we know this G.I. Joe is going to come out in a 6-inch line, so let's do our own military action figure line. Or maybe it was vice versa, where Hasbro and well, who knows? I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just speculating. I got to make it even on both sides, so nobody but
it makes sense because regardless who went first, there's competition there.
Right.
And it's been to the benefit of us collectors.
Yes, it has definitely.
The classified line has stepped up a gear. It's become its own thing in the last couple of years. It's a beautiful line.
Yeah.
It's been hugely successful. So it makes sense for Hasbro to turn around and say, right, let's subcontract out this franchise that we have to a different company.
Did you see this article that came out that basically said that like adults are basically like more than half the toy market now, right? So if you think about that, like, and I said this in a video previously when I was talking about the Star Wars Black Series, and my granddaughter was I think like 6 or 7 at the time, and I put like the original Luke in her hand, the Bespin Luke, and I held the Bespin Black Series Luke, and the way that they sit in our hands were like identical, right? Like size comparison wise. So that 6-inch is perfect for you to have that same recollection of holding a figure that when you were 4. So I think what Hasbro did was they just grew up along with the people they knew that were going to buy their GI Joes. That's why I think that they're not really into this like O-ring line, because it's 3 3/4 of an inch, but they know their market is adults and they want to put that figure and give you that same kind of.
And they probably don't want to spark the divide like with Star Wars between TVC and Black Series. Yeah.
And I think if Hasbro went all in on 3 3/4 again, or still with GI Joe, like make a whole collection, kind of like Star Wars has the vintage collection, right, or retro collection, but they have a whole collection that they sell to the big box stores like Walmart and Targets and whatnot. So they get a little section of the store, but maybe they realize it's just not. They don't want that. Like there's not that much demand for it, because in Canada, like we don't have the vintage collection at Walmart or anything anymore. There's just not enough demand for it. When they do go, they tend to go to clearance pretty quick, but you can still pick them up at Toys R Us and GameStop for full price. And then a month later, you can still go there. They're still there. Like they're not flying off the pegs. But I do notice the 6-inch GI Joes, they do move. Like the Black Series, they do move. And I know it's all collectors our age, like you guys do. You guys see other, dudes or girls in the toy store looking at similar toys to you, and the kids are looking at, Pokemons and Ninja Turtles or other, really child-oriented toys. So it's definitely an adult collector's market when it comes to these as well, I think.
If I go to our toy stores here, you see the vintage collection and sometimes the Black Series, they peg warm in the toy stores. They sell in the comic book stores or the fan channel stores. Those guys that have websites, they're huge sellers for them. But when in an actual toy store, the Star Wars stuff tends just to sit there and ride it out till it hits discount.
Do you think it's partly because a lot of us as adult collectors, because it's changed over the past 10 years now, where we literally can pre-order all these things 6-8 months in advance now? So do you think the fact that, like, we'll use that Marvel Legends wave as an example,
it's not that we can
pre-order figures. We all might buy that Wolverine one, but none of us will buy it at the store because we're probably pre-ordering it from, Amazon or Big Bad Toy Store or someone. So then 6 months down the road, when we're about to get it in the mail, we might see it at the Toys R Us or Smith's Toys or whatever and go, oh, cool, this is what it looks like, even though I haven't got my pre-order yet.
Yeah.
Maybe you get it, maybe you don't.
Like, I'm sure it was the case
when one of my critics. Sorry, Eric. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm sure it was the case when you guys were kids too. But when I was a kid, the way I figured out like what I wanted to get was, they had Toys R Us magazines or what Target magazines in the newspaper or whatever, and I'd look at those and I'd say like, oh, I want this, and this, and this. But like kids today, like it's just the marketing isn't hitting them quite as much. And
right,
like I agree.
No, but that's one of the biggest criticisms, where we were kind of forced into this whole pre-order, you'll miss out, and there's the whole FOMO kicking in, and that's the way it's been marketed to us. Where I'm old school, I like to see it on a shelf, go and pick it up. And
no, me too, but I miss it because I don't see it as much. Like Hammerhead, everyone knows I love Hammerhead for whatever crazy reason.
You do?
I pre-ordered 2 of them.
You never said.
I pre-ordered 2 of them, so I can at least have 2 of them. But I mean, I'll never see that in a store here. Like never. Like I'll never see it in a store. If my Walmart did get it, they would get 2 or something. And and it's just weird. It's different now. Like Eric said, when we were kids, we circled the Sears Christmas catalogs and
Mervyn's
commercials on TV. Oh, coming soon. Hammerhead. We're like, oh yeah.
If Hasbro really wanted to revive like at least like Star Wars toys.
Oh wait. Prophet. I wanted a bone collector from Aliverse. How can I get one? Can you help me out?
I don't think he's at JoeFest this year, is he?
Yeah, no, he's at the DFW show, and he's got that bone collector, the one that comes in the no picture box.
Okay.
that you either get a bloody one or a regular one or whatever.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a little code on the bottom so you know which one it is, like those Oreo cookie cheat codes.
It says they say it's a secret.
Sorry,
I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, that's all good. I lost my train of thought. It's all good.
That was my whole point.
The answer is 3.
All right. Anyways,
sorry, I do remember. Okay. If you don't mind, if Hasbro really wanted to get back into targeting kids, or just other demographics, right? The smart thing to do would be to invest in some advertising for their toy lines and do like old school style commercials with the new like toys, whether it's TVC and or Black Series, right?
For sure.
And put those ads on Disney Plus.
And even if it's just on social media, or like you said, if you pay for Disney Plus with the version with commercials, there's a prime place for you to market to these toys.
And YouTube, because most kids just watch YouTube nowadays as well. They don't watch.
But
do it there too. But my point was, if you're watching Star Wars content, easy, right?
We might see that a little more, because the internet's, how the world runs now. We see ads on, YouTube. We see ads on potentially on Netflix and Disney Plus and all those streaming services now. And if we're only going to see ads on the internet now, like I remember when I watch wrestling now, every week wrestling comes on, I watch it. I think it's a 3-hour show or 2-hour show, but I'm not kidding. 48 minutes of it is just advertisements. Like they start a match. Oh, let's go to a commercial for 4 minutes. And because I haven't had TV in a long time. The one show I watch is wrestling. I don't know if they put more advertisements in wrestling than they do in like regular, comedy shows or news shows or whatever. But I mean, it's like ridiculous. Like they're
trying to catch up with the NFL.
It's like more commercial than it is live action. It's weird, man. But it is what it is. It's how they survive.
Yeah.
Is this the new Witcher or the old Witcher?
What company is that?
It says Wing.
It's just a video game one, right?
I think. I mean, are these going to sell? Because the ones that this guy made, they couldn't even sell 9,900 of them.
They'll sell in the UK, because I think only in the UK do people watch the show or care about The Witcher. Am I wrong?
I don't know what company this is. I want to say it's like.
I don't think season 3 is
Rebel. You can't read that, Vern?
One of these. What?
You can't read that?
No.
Oh man.
But this
hold on.
This likeness looks like it's
this
more
already. I was born in Fort Worth. Okay, so I was born in Texas. I don't read that. I can read English.
Now, is this a new actor?
This looks like the video game likeness.
Okay. Oh, Figma. Okay, Figma. Brian's saying it's Figma.
It's Liam Hemsworth, right? He's the new one.
Yeah.
He looks fine. I've seen some pictures come online, and people are complaining. It looks like a dude with a white wig on. Like, what's what he's supposed to look like?
The show in general just wasn't. I used to work with a guy who was a huge fan of The Witcher, and he couldn't have been more disappointed in the series as a whole. But
welcome, Tim.
Welcome,
I watched, I think, most of the first series.
Hey, Tim. Thanks for
participating. It just wasn't my bag of tricks. Like, I know Mark Blue Harvest Toys loved the show. Like, but for me, it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't.
I watched probably 4 episodes of the first season, and I kind of lost interest. I think something else was on that captured my interest more, but I always intended to go back and watch it. So hopefully, it's still available on Netflix.
Yeah, the format of the first season was wonky as well.
All right, and then that was it. That was all that I had from stuff I was trying to collect off the internet. But I will show this one video. This is a ramen toy. This is Super John talked to Ramen about the tank and stuff like that. So
super exclusive.
Let the cameras roll.
Blown away by this stuff.
Okay, so what we are doing is that we heard the calls for vehicles especially for classified figures, the GI Joes and stuff like that. So we thought, hey, why don't we make some armored vehicles that is not so expensive, right? So they're all retailing for $199.95 each. That's before the early bird discount. So early bird on our website will be like 30% off. For example, this JoeFest exclusive is actually $180 shipped. So it's basically the Hunter tank, which is the turret over there, and the hull. But we're going to do a special desert scheme color just for JoeFest. So pre-orders within the JoeFest period of time, and it will deliver next year in like fourth quarter. So that's the armored vehicles, and because every good guy needs a foe, so we had the Amphiss Beaner, which is a double-barrel, plasma cannon tank that's dedicatedly done in black and red. So this will also help you to like fight the good bad guys. So, and then if you get the accessory pack, which is the breach layer and the missile phalanx kit sold separately, then you can deck out. You can remove the turret on the Hunter and then put on the breach layer or put on the phalanx rocket launcher.
Yeah, it's really cool that you've got a platform to work off of for 3 different vehicles, or 4 really. Yeah.
So I mean, the tooling is really massive, right? The tooling is massive, so we have got to share. So the idea of sharing is that the black tank and the green tank have both the same hull, different turret. So that's how we try to share the tooling, make it more economical for everybody.
Yes, and then bringing in the bridge layer and the missile system.
It actually started with the bridge layer. Because I'm a big fan of the bridge layer.
Of course, it's a beautiful vehicle.
Back in the day when there's this top Trumps carts, like the carts with the tanks, right?
Yes.
The bridge layer apparently is the first king. Apparently. So I was very inspired with the bridge layer. So that we started with the bridge layer first, and then we say, let's branch out and make the tanks and everything.
That's cool. Hey man, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
This has been amazing.
Thank you so much.
Great show, right?
It's a great show.
Yeah.
All right, so
that was cool footage.
He didn't ask though. Will that turret and the bridge layer will they work on top of the bread van?
No, I don't know. Okay,
or the front snowplow that comes in that Mad Max looking car. Can I put that in front of my bread van too?
Maybe,
Mr. Plow.
So what he said was it's available during the JoeFest time, right? Yes. So you can go to the Ramen Toy website right now and order that color scheme of that tank for $180 shipped. It's not going to deliver until Q4, fourth quarter 2025. So you're a year away from seeing that. But
I think that's about when we'll get the bread van too. From what he told us originally was the end of next year.
Yeah. So it's the bottom part and that turret. And then he said that the other stuff was purchased separately, like the bridge piece. And so that turret will come out and then you put the other part in and then the bridge will attach to it. So all the bottom part is universal is what it sounded like.
Pretty cool. I'm jealous John and the other people down there get to see it right there, like see how big it is, get a little feel of what the treads might feel like and stuff. So I think when we hear the feedback from John and Scuba Pete and the other guys, like when they say, oh no, you guys are gonna like this, like that, those are guys, we like to call them enablers, influencers, whatever the word is, but when they get the hands-on look and the first see of it, like Eric is the only one of our crew that went down to the Galactic Star Cruiser, that whole experience. Like we can just make fun of that experience or talk about it or whatever, but we don't know because we just know what Eric tells us. Eric says it was a really super fun experience and he would do it again in a heartbeat, and we're all like, oh, I wish we could have had the chance or again in the future and stuff. But
that was. Now, Eric, I mean, if I think about it from your perspective, right? And I was actually telling a buddy of mine, your kind of not your story, but like when you were saying how you did it, like you hired the photographer and stuff like that, and then when you said like if there's something here we want, let's just get it because we might not be coming back. Was kind of the way to do it because at this point now that was really a once opportunity. It's done.
Well, some of the stuff is on shop or the Disney store now since they rebranded, but yeah. I mean, I miss it. I wish I could do it again. I'm sure they'll do something with that space eventually, but yeah.
because I don't see it every day like the Disneyland. That was in California, right? That experience?
No, it was in Florida.
Orlando.
It was only in Orlando, so that wasn't
yeah.
even built in California,
Yeah.
right?
Was not.
Yeah.
So that building, whatever they built, I'm sure was made of like concrete and other hard substances. I don't see them like demolishing that building.
Yeah,
They might, but it might
it's
turn
too early
into
to say.
something else in the future. Is my guess.
Yeah.
So based on your experience with that, are you suggesting we should all pre-order the tank?
Based on Galactic Star Cruiser.
Well, I don't know, so I'm not super into Joe's, but what that guy showed, those toys look really cool. If I had the space, if I had unlimited space, I'd probably dive into that. But that is like going back to what the interview that John had, that was really cool, especially the black one with the two rail guns or whatever.
Oh, check it out. Yeah, Rhino's exactly
this is when I for the futuristic looking stuff, but that one is just pulling my heartstrings.
So cool, man.
That looks like it could have been a HasLab.
Yeah, the blast effects look so cool.
Just need lights.
It won't be now. I'll tell you that, Eric. I bet you now you'll never see that tank as a HasLab because this will hopefully not be stepping on any toes or conflicting with anyone. I think it'll go through no problem. But I will. Hopefully John will watch this late tonight from the hot tub or whatever. If he does not get a little video clip of the bread van and maybe talk to Ace about when that I can pre-order it myself.
Somebody had a photo.
I will unsubscribe from Super John.
Hold on. Somebody had a picture of the van from.
Yeah, I've only seen a couple of pictures. People like skim by it. I'm like, that's the most important thing in all toy history. Like, come on, man.
I've seen pictures. They weren't painted though.
No, it was just a matte black.
Yeah,
but it had all the parts, like the spoiler and the. Remember we mentioned, you should put like a windscreen thing about, like that 118 episode they did every, time where they had to battle it. But yeah, I'm definitely into 3 bread vans.
For those watching, by the way, the bread van is Ramen Toys 18 van. If you don't know about it, they're redoing the 18 van. So there's a bit of interest from some of us here in the panel for that particular van.
Yeah, I was trying to find the picture of that van again. I saw it once and then I couldn't find it again. And I thought John had shared it, but then I guess maybe he didn't. But it was interesting to me
on Facebook.
Yeah, that one picture that one video he sent of the ramen, you can see that new car is right in the edge, and I'm like, come on, dude, show me the car. Punisher van. Oh yeah, that's cool, Rick.
Why would you make a Punisher van when you can have this van in 6-inch scale? Come on.
I'm thinking of the van from Fanboys.
Yeah, that'd be a cool one too.
Yeah. But John took those. I'm sure he's going to do a video on his channel. He did send those videos to me, and he said, "Yeah, go ahead and use them."
Did you see the pool party, Vern?
What?
Did you see the G.I. Joe pool party? How fun was that looking?
Yeah, that looks so cool with the big gigantic flag. Aircraft carrier sitting in the water. Yeah, that was cool.
So Scuba Pete apparently acquired a beater USS Flag. They could throw into the trunk of his, family wagon, drive down to Georgia, and ask the pool lady at the hotel, "Hey, can we play with some toys in your pool?" And I guess they said yes, because I think they've done it every day they've been there now, is hang out in the pool with the flag, floating a couple of American beers on there. And
yeah, why wouldn't they say yes? During JoeFest, that's the crazy part, right? Of course they're gonna say yes. Yeah.
I thought that thing was it looked like it was just sitting on some floaties. I thought it was like a proper ship.
Well, it is a proper ship, but I don't think they actually float.
Okay.
Although I don't know, but maybe because it's a beater, it's held together with duct tape and stuff. I could be wrong.
Got it.
MacGyver tape, as America calls it.
I popped a couple of pictures into the group chat there for the Mad Max car.
Okay.
How
cool is that, man?
Look at that.
Because I know none of us had this. I never had this toy. I never even saw a kid with it.
That's so cool. Only Scuba Pete could pull that off.
So hilarious.
That's so cool.
I saw John throwing not paper airplanes, but light airplanes, really light, because they flew, trying to land them on the runway. It was pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah, Mike Hunt. Hopefully we get some of those.
Oh, all right. See ya. We were talking about Ki-Adi-Mundi earlier, Eric.
Oh, you were? Or we're not?
We were talking about the whole age thing and stuff like that. I think that's ridiculous.
Now, Eric, it doesn't bother you, does it? That
no, people need to get a grip if they're worried about Ki-Adi-Mundi's fucking birthday. Sorry.
But what I tell you, Vern, about the age group,
who cares?
Yeah.
The age group that doesn't care is like Eric's age group, the people that watch the trilogy, the 1, 2, 3 trilogy first.
Yeah.
Like that was their introduction to Star Wars. They don't care.
But that wasn't my introduction to Star Wars.
If Luke Skywalker showed up, I can see us getting mad. But I mean, it wasn't Luke Skywalker, so who cares?
It's a side character at best.
There's a reason for it. We'll find out whatever the reason is.
I think it makes a big. It's huge difference though whether he's 100 or 150.
Oh, yeah.
It's like is Yoda 400 or 800? Does it matter? Like,
it matters to me, Rick. It matters to me.
Yeah, because he actually said his age.
What matters is why is Saul wearing gloves? There's a mystery. There's another
I'm
mystery.
just excited to see more. I want to see how the show plays out.
Maybe his hands did get cut off by
he got his hand cut
the
off.
zombie Wookiee that we talked about. A zombie Wookiee, maybe, Eric.
Because he's really a Sith Lord.
Okay.
Really.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah,
Anyway,
I'm okay with the show so far. Hopefully, Eric can make an after show so it's not just me babbling about. Hopefully, the show will get better. Hopefully, the show will get better.
Oh,
I think it will.
I was just annoyed when they cut off the episode when they did last week.
Yeah, that we were.
I was
talking
just
about
like,
that same thing.
are you kidding me?
Just when we got a fresh drink and we're like, oh, now it's getting good. Oh,
Yeah.
credits.
We had a whole conversation about that, Eric, like about the episodes and how they design the episodes, right? Like on the after show, Rick was saying like he wished they dropped them all at once, but then you also said, Rick, something about when you watch a serial show every week and like each episode self-contained but has that overarching story or whatever. And I was saying like in what they do in this is they don't look for the self-contained part of the story when they cut it, right?
Yeah, I think the editing, I'll call it editing, how they formatted this show, I don't think it's been in their favor for some of the fandom that they're doing it weekly to give people reasons to actually bitch and complain.
Yeah. If it dropped it all at once,
like, oh, what did you think of this scene? But just to talk about it by degrading it, like,
yeah.
Because I watch a lot of after shows. There's a lot of fans out there, all ages, that are enjoying it for what it is. It's a new live action, fairly high budget Star Wars show that we can watch for free, or not for free, but we don't have to go out of our way to pay hundreds of dollars or anything for it.
That episode has captured 75% of the panel, or that show has captured 75% of the panel.
No, like I said, there's no point in getting enraged and outraged.
There's not.
One day, Connor will watch all the episodes. I promise you that. One day.
We had this, and the funny thing is, I think like
it'll be raining.
We used to have the same kind of like debate system or debating about the Book of Boba Fett when they showed those like scooters, right? Like some people liked them, some people didn't like them. I thought they were fantastic.
I thought they were cool, man.
I thought it was cool.
I thought it was, to me, I felt like those like rocket scooter things that all fancy were complete throwback or ode to the fact that George Lucas had made that
American Graffiti, of course.
Yeah. So
it's definitely a callback to that. And
you were wrong, but that's okay.
Yeah. The Acolyte, like Leslie Headland's talked about these episodes now. Like we hear a little bit more interviews after the episodes come out. This episode was her honor to Predator and Alien kind of episode. And that was just because of those final minutes, where they're in the dark forest and the floating creature behind her with, Sith Zipperhead guy.
I think the next big divide in the fandom I expect will be when we see Vernestra Rowe with her purple lightsaber whip.
Yep.
because for people who didn't catch that in the trailers, when the masses see that in one of the episodes, whenever that happens, unless it's left at the cutting room floor for some reason, oh my God, people are going to lose their freaking minds.
I can guarantee you none of her scenes will be on the cutting room floor just because of who she is in relation to the showrunner.
I didn't know she was Leslie Headland's partner.
Well, I think that the official term is it's her traveling partner.
The green girl is related to the.
Well, no, it's her traveling partner.
I thought so. Okay, I didn't know.
And they're both,
the standout takeaway from.
Okay, well, I don't think that has
me was.
That's a lot to do with a lot of stuff, man.
Poor, and I was like,
no, it doesn't.
How did they get her? Where does she fit into this? I just thought her acting was below par of the other characters. And now there's nepotism. Okay, right.
And I'm telling you, those moles on Jedi Master Trinity, when it turns from 1 to 2, they mean something because that Vanessa has 6 of them on her eye. So those tattoo moles mean something. Like
they're the number of kids you've stolen from parents.
How many kids you've stolen, or how many zombie Wookiees you've battled and lived.
How many times you were able to say, you were saying, don't you want your kid to train to be a Jedi?
You want to come on our spaceship.
You would like to have a lightsaber.
But she doesn't. She's got that stun blaster. She's got that stun blaster that Mr. Dreadlock Jedi is like, oh, you got to give that back now. That belongs to us. Oh,
that's a special Jedi blaster.
And then someone says something. Oh, I forget about this now.
Yeah.
On with the rest of our show. But yeah, hopefully next week is we see whatever Sith Zipperhead. We see him in action, slicing and dicing, making Jedi sushi.
Oh God. That would be so. That would be so frustrating. Sorry, Vern. That would be so frustrating if the next episode is like flashback or like shit on Coruscant with the Jedi Council.
That's exactly what the next episode is going to be. It's going to be a flashback episode.
I was thinking the next episode would be like episode 3, but from a different point of view.
Yeah.
But Leslie Headland says that episode 5 is where all the epic battles happen. So
okay.
I think they're waiting a week before they give us another sleeper episode. Not sleeper episode, but flashbacky episode.
Okay,
it's going to tell us all the answers that were mistaken from the first watch.
So if that's the case, and Tuesday will be the battle episode, it's going to be 23 minutes long.
Man, 23 minutes I'm so sick of that.
Yeah.
Shows were made that length because the other 8 minutes were for advertisements, right? Throughout the half hour of your program.
A half-hour show.
Because they're not made for NBC now, where they play commercials for washing and dryers and all that stuff. You can make those 8 minutes. Make them minimum 30 minutes. But
at this point, it's just to help drive. It's just to help drive like recurring subscriptions and whatnot. So.
Okay, just do better, Lucasfilm. We want to watch Star Wars and love it, not just be okay with it or hate it or not.
I'm just excited to see more. I just want to see how it plays out and give it a better opinion once it's done and over with.
I do want to tell Rick something about what's the Wookiee's name?
Kilnaka.
Kilnaka. Okay, so if we were ever expecting Kilnaka was going to have some vicious, all-out, drag-out fight scene because he's a Wookiee, all we got to do is remember that 2 Gourmet guards walked backwards till they fell off a cliff when 4 regular dudes walked towards him in the Book of Boba Fett.
It was still a cool scene, though.
And I don't remember anybody complaining about that. Well, I think there might have been a few voices of discontent. Listen, when it comes to the new Star Wars show, do yourself a favor. Go to Amazon Prime, watch A Bridge Too Far because they're after re-putting up that movie, and then go and order the Ramen Toys tank with the bridge with it and play with your figures.
Yeah, play with your Acolyte figures in that tank.
Voice with the Acolyte.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be crazy, like, if once the show comes to episode 8 and they reveal, like, all of these, like, Darth Plagueis and all these things that no one ever thought would happen, that all of a sudden the May action figure and Oshi become, like, the most popular ever?
I wouldn't go that far. I still wouldn't expect that to happen, even if for some reason the show, gets its flowers more than it is
did
right
notice
now,
that one Padawan girl, the Weapon X actress, with
Yeah.
the little, her
Yeah.
figure was on sale on Amazon.
All
It's
right.
not out yet. Like, it's still on pre-order for like 6 months, but it got lowered like $4.
Oh,
So I
my
wonder
God.
if that means they didn't actually sell one yet. And
Or they didn't sell what they thought that whatever their order was. But
it's weird when they lower prices before they're actually produced. Or
what I'm hoping
made.
that we find out in the next episode of Acolyte is that Jack Black's character is also a couple of 100 years old.
He is, but his beard will be much shorter.
I'm just kidding. Anyways, all right.
Would we care if Jack Black showed up? Like, maybe Jack Black's kid can play him.
There's a lot of people that would care because I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's the worst thing about it."
I'm just having fun.
But I think it would be hilarious. All right, everybody. I think we're at the 2-hour mark. Unless you guys got something else you want to talk about, I think we'll wrap things up. That was the. Hope you like some of those videos from JoeFest, looking at some of those figures that they have on display there.
Great footage.
Yeah, I think we had a pretty good conversation about Star Wars Acolyte almost twice now. I wanted to give Eric a chance to chime in and talk about some
exactly
stuff.
twice.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, but yep. So we'll be back next week on the Toy Duo team on Saturday at the regular time. We're still thinking about swapping times maybe, but tomorrow I'm going to be doing a 3-Minute and a Monkey Lizard reunion show on this channel. It's at 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock on the East Coast time. And I don't know what time it is in Europe. Is that like 8 o'clock? 6 o'clock?
What time? 1 o'clock EST.
It's 10 a.m. here. So is it 8 hours
So
ahead?
it's 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Okay, so 6 p.m. We're going to be doing that. So that'll be on my channel also. And we'll have all the original crew back together.
Nice.
And you know what, Ben? I think we speak for a lot of us in the community. We're really excited to get you guys back on our screens together. I'm really looking forward to it.
We're going to see how that goes.
It's going to be good. I know.
Hopefully they'll show up.
I'm sure. Yeah, maybe I'll be the only one.
Make sure to wear your Christmas hat.
Well, that's pretty funny. Will Sean be late? Will he be running late from Starbucks? Maybe he'll have to reboot his computer.
How big would his llama be by now?
What?
His llama must be like full grown.
Probably.
Man, I look forward to llama riding.
I wonder if the dude should have been busy setting up his basement, right? Like, we'll see if that's done. Probably didn't even bother.
Got a new pair of shoes for his collection and a new lightsaber for his collection.
I shipped off Rum's Regal robot. Let's see if he signed it or even responded to the post office. All those questions will be tomorrow.
It's sitting in customs again.
Except their post.
Yeah. And they're all watching me. We're not going to be on there tomorrow now.
How many stamps did you have to put on that, Vern? You must have took an hour to put those stamps on.
I did post a picture when I got to the post office. I just set it by that little door, the one that you pulled down. I was like, now what?
They're not even open.
Yeah. Oh, you know what happened though? When I got there the first time, I put one box in and then the guy scanned it and everything. And then when I put the second box in, he was like, oh, I can't scan this one because it doesn't have the barcode. And what I realized is that I printed out 2 pages of the same label. So I had to take them back home and put new labels on them.
My God.
Yeah. Oh God. I get messed
The joy
up.
of shipping.
Yeah. But
anyway, you don't know if he got it?
I think one might have been held up in customs.
Okay.
I think that
the part that had the salacious.
Probably because they just want to find out what is this thing or something like that because when they look at it, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But anyways, everybody, that's the Toy Duo this week. We'll be back next week on the Toy Duo team. And thanks for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. And you know what? I really appreciate everybody who showed up. At one point, we had over 40 people watching us. That was pretty good. So
like 55 Canadian.
Yeah, I know. Shoot. So we really appreciate you guys showing up and hanging out with us for a little bit, talking about toys and action figures and movies and that type of stuff. And we hope to always try to keep it entertaining, fun, lighthearted, and you can't take me too seriously anyways, because I do say a lot of stuff that is
not me. I'm always 100% serious.
Off my rocker. Anyways, all right, everybody, we'll see you next time on the Toy Duo team.
Schlongafoil.
Toys, 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 manly toys, 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 toys.
And TV and movies too.